Let's imagine we're in the year 2040, give or take a decade or so. We are in a broad, flat valley in south-central British Columbia. We grew up around here. The Highland Valley was our childhood backyard. What was different then? Dad and Grandpa before him, they worked the mine that used to be here. When was that? Way back at the turn of the century. What we find here today, in the 1990s, is the thriving community of Logan Lake. The people here and many more in nearby communities enjoy high standards of living, healthy lifestyles, and a true sense of community. These are some of the 1,100 people employed by Highland Valley Copper, whose hard work and commitment have made it one of the largest, most productive mines in the world. We have here today one of the largest base metal mines in North America, a true competitor in the world of large mines. The Highland Valley Mine supplies the equivalent of 6% of North America's copper needs, nearly 2% of the Western world's, and has ore reserves to continue doing so into the next century. Compared to other world deposits, the ore grade is low, but efficiency and high productivity through an involved workforce have made it possible for the mine to compete in world markets. The mine requires a variety of specialists to control and maintain its activities. Mining engineers using the latest technology plan both long and short-term activity. Metallurgical technicians study and monitor the characteristics of the ore. An army of highly trained mechanics carry out equipment maintenance and repairs to mesh with production requirements. Running a mine this large is a complex process which takes into account ore grades, plant capacity, manpower and equipment needs, regulatory requirements, market trends and conditions, innumerable factors which must be considered and balanced to make the mine operate day to day, year to year, in the safest and most efficient way possible. It begins with breaking the rock free. Holes are drilled. These are loaded with an explosive emulsion made right on site. Every second day at 4 p.m., the blasters hit the button. Ore is extracted from two locations, the Valley Pit and the Lornex Pit. Shovels and trucks load 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, all year round, moving more than 10,000 metric tons of material an hour. About half of it is waste rock. There are 9 enormous shovels, electrically driven. 31 gigantic 172 metric ton monster trucks transport the ore. Waste rock is dumped at designated sites and carefully contoured as the first step of reclamation. Ore from the Valley Pit is dumped at in-pit crushers. These giants of rock crushing technology are movable, adapted by Highland Valley to stay close to the operating benches and increase mine efficiency. Ore from the Lornex Pit is also transported by trucks to a crusher near the pit. There are sensor systems all around the mine connected with computers. Every shovelful of rock, every truckload, its whereabouts and progress are monitored. Each of the 2 Valley Pit crushers can deliver ore to the Highland Valley Mill at the rate of 4,000 metric tons an hour. including regular stops for planned maintenance. Enough to bury a football field 17 meters deep every 24 hours. The ore moves through the milling operations at a designed rate of 125,000 metric tons a day, yielding in excess of 1 million pounds of copper and 11,000 pounds of molybdenum. The milling process separates the minerals from the rock. The first step, grind the rock into sand by mixing it with water, tumbling it, pounding it with steel, crushing it further and further until the minerals are released from the rock. Reagents are added to the slurry, a collector which sticks to mineral grains and a frother which encourages bubble formation. This is the flotation process. The mixture is agitated and frothed with air. The valuable minerals float up with the froth, grains of waste sand sink. More reagents are added in a second flotation process. Molybdenum, which then floats, separates from the copper, which sinks. The system is automatically sampled and analyzed by X-ray fluorescence. Computers use this information to balance the reagent mix at 90 different points to ensure maximum mineral recovery. Copper and molybdenum captured by bubbles are skimmed off. The two streams of concentrate are filtered, purified, and dried. Molybdenum concentrate is packed in large bags, then shipped to market. Molybdenum is used to harden steel, making it tougher, more corrosion-proof. Stainless steel is a good example. Copper concentrate is loaded into trucks for delivery to the railhead at Ashcroft, 40 kilometers away. The concentrate is loaded into rail cars, weighed, and covered for the 325-kilometer journey to Vancouver. Over 400,000 metric tons of clean, high-grade copper concentrate are shipped each year to smelters in the Far East, Europe, and elsewhere. It goes into electrical products, air conditioning, piping, and plumbing, water heaters, boilers, cooking pots, into countless aspects of modern everyday living. But there is more to the Highland Valley Copper story. Every day, millions of liters of water are used in the milling process. This water, along with the waste sand, is pumped into the tailings pond in the valley. The sand sinks, and the ground level between the two dams, which are 11 kilometers apart, is gradually raised. The water, however, is used again and again. Water recycling is just one of Highland Valley Copper's environmental practices. Batteries, scrap metal, waste paper, and other materials are also part of the program. A $600,000 fluid recovery plant collects and recycles waste oil and used antifreeze from the mining operations. Even as mining proceeds, so does the work of reclaiming the land. The plans for long-term reclamation have been made. Waste dumps, tailing ponds, and the plant site all will be returned to productive use, and the mined-out pits may become recreational lakes. The reclamation begins with covering selected waste rock dumps with overburden in preparation for seeding. Seeding and fertilization are done utilizing fixed-wing aircraft. An average of 5 metric tons of seed and 200 metric tons of fertilizer are spread annually over land under reclamation. Even after the first growth takes root, fertilizing continues. 1 year after seeding, this area shows how effective the reclamation can be. But the work of Highland Valley Copper goes beyond seeding and fertilizing. a test herd of cattle graze on the reclaimed mining site. Researchers analyze the cattle to better understand the role of minerals in animal development. Meanwhile, on an inactive tailings pond, wildlife returns. Beneath the surface, fish feed on the abundance of aquatic life. Water, which is released under permit, is regularly tested to ensure it meets government requirements. This water is clean enough to release into the environment. Reclaiming the land is an ongoing process. Soil and vegetation specialists take samples for the lab, check root growth and soil conditions in the old waste sites. They assess plant development, which plants and species grow best on which slope, in which soil, and other environmental conditions, and for what land use. Ultimately, as researchers master the unique growing conditions for each area of the mine, there will be grazing land for cattle and wildlife, hay production on irrigated flatlands, recreational areas for people to enjoy. This, then, is the end of the story. Land which long since surrendered a wealth of essential minerals, ultimately returned to other productive uses. The story of Highland Valley Copper, one of the great mines of the world.